boys and girls, weather report for May 20th, 2022. That's a lot of twos in there. Aren't there a lot of twos in there?
In 2 days, there'll be more.
Yeah. Anyway. Really? Oh, there will.
May 22nd, 2022.
Too many twos in that Tabasco sauce.
Too many twos. Anyway, if anybody out there knows why yesterday's video got a strike from YouTube, I'd sure like to know the answer to that, or how to appeal it when it tells me that appeal is not available, because our rather tame video yesterday. I mean, it was probably tamer than most of the videos we do, right?
I would not call it any kind of fecal storm.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. So anyway, there's
that. We need to put a wanted sign poster and put YouTube's name on it.
It's disconcerting because if they take your channel down for 2 weeks, if you get 4 strikes, they take you down for 2 weeks, I guess. Did they lose all your content? Because I don't have a lot of that shit backed up.
I don't think you lose all your content unless they pull your channel.
Okay. And you got to really, you got to be like Kent Hovind bad to get your channel pulled.
Well, I mean, think about how long it took before Jesus is Lord lost his channel.
Yeah.
You got to be kind of doing that level of stuff. And really, I think he would have been fine if he hadn't gotten into some of the types of political videos that he did were the ones that really started attracting the attention of the algorithm.
You know, the reason it bothers me so much is that I have no idea what the hell they're complaining about. And it's like, okay, if I have no idea what they're complaining about, how do I know what to avoid?
How do I know how to fix this?
Yeah,
it's kind of frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating too, because now that I'm on, you're monetized, right, Speed?
No.
No. When you get monetized, they do this thing where they kind of want you to like
screw up.
Review your own stuff. Like, tell us if you've got this kind of like they're especially it's weird. They're especially concerned about profanity or anything offensive within like the first 30 seconds or in the first 5 minutes of the video. Yeah. So that's really a big one. So if you do a live stream or any kind of video and it gets put out there, the live ones are the big ones, I think. So I think whatever their monitoring bots are looking for is to see if like a video pops up and somebody just immediately, because I mean most of the security things are kind of set around that. Like the guy in I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be the one that gets blamed for getting this video flagged, but upstate New York, a young man quite aggravated about politics and society decided to take some steps, and he decided to take those steps while filming and broadcasting to Twitch live. So I think the Twitch algorithm kind of caught that, and they were able to pull it. So I think most of these ones that they've got live broadcasting potential, they're set for that. So yeah, they watch those first few minutes to see kind of what's going to happen. So
we'll have to say golly in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would recommend start watching. I don't know if you're a fan. You ever watched like Nacho Libre or Napoleon Dynamite? Any of Jared Hess's movies?
I've seen both of those.
Yeah. Only when he writes his. I don't know why he's a former Mormon, but he doesn't cuss, and so everything that's any kind of insults and stuff that are in there are all kind of childish. So.
Do you remember, I think it was Tom Hanks with the Cotton Club or something like that, where they had this gangster and he would like come in and swear, but he always got the words wrong. And he was like, it's Fargan War.
It's and bastages, you bastages. That was Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Johnny Dangerously.
Okay. Yep. God, how did I confuse him with Tom Hanks?
And was Joe Piscopo on that one too?
Yeah.
I think I remember it. Yeah.
He's the one. He was the one that he would always like. My mom hung me on a door hook once, just once. Like he had these weird. Yeah.
I remember that bit. Yeah, I thought it was funny.
That was good. I gotta watch that again. It's been a while.
Yeah, the early Michael Keaton stuff to me was hilarious.
Yeah. Except for that one he did where he was where he rented didn't he rent a duplex to somebody? Do you remember that? Was that Michael Keaton? That was, wasn't it?
I'm not sure
he
what
played he played like this evil landlord.
Pacific Heights.
Pacific Heights, yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he is the bad guy because I think it was Melanie Griffith and Matthew Modine, I think, were the married couple. Yeah. And since it's in San Francisco, yeah, they rent a place from him, and he's just super creepy.
Really creepy.
It's like an evil squirrel living in the walls. I hope that's not a spoiler. I never saw the whole movie, but that's the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, YouTube. I know that the weather report is now live.
Oh, they just tell you that we're going live?
For some odd reason.
That's because it's been what, 3 to 5 minutes, so it knows. Yeah, we haven't talked about anything offensive. We've mentioned one movie.
We said
movies.
I guess it can't be problematic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So Sel and Rebecca did a really long video, or not, kind of a short video actually.
A really wrong video?
Wrong video, a really wrong video. And it gathered a whole lot of Sel ridiculous in one place. What's really interesting is she asked the question, and then somebody in chat I think said, "How about these papers?" And Sel said, "Well, yeah, they have these papers on how things evolved," but he said that's just hand waving. Well, the thing is, what Sel did there, and here's the irony, is hand waving.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When they say that's just hand waving, that's them hand waving. It's
right.
Like, what are you doing?
I think he's taking too many vitamin tablets and getting too much iron in his system.
Yes.
And I get when they say like we're storytelling because we're coming up with these specific explanations for how specific structures evolved, but like the point of those explanations is to combat or counter the claim that those structures are impossible to evolve, because if you can show that's possible for them to evolve in any way, then that refutes the claim of impossibility, irrespective of whether or not it's how it actually evolved or not.
Yeah, and it's like a contingent historical story that it ends up being a hypothesis. Now,
a plausible hypothesis.
This way or that, and then the evolutionists fight about which one is better. And it's like, but I mean, there's like multiple ways that these things could have happened. And anyway, Sal just hand waves it away by calling it all hand waving. I got SFT's book. He sent me a copy.
Oh, nice.
I buy so many of his books that he sent me a PDF copy, and I did buy his book, the hardcover book, because I'm putting his kids through school, and because I'm hoping that his kids will realize how wrong their father is when they go to college.
So are they like going to a Christian school? So you're paying for a Christian school for his kids?
No, I'm paying for their college. So when
okay.
they go to college, they're going to realize how wrong their dad is. So I'm glad to help him out and donate a little money to Standing for Truth. But the endogenous retrovirus thing is nothing but every other paragraph. It's hand waving. It's just unbelievable. It is incredible.
Are there any big major points he's making, or just any way to summarize it?
Same old points. The HERVW, the one that's used in the placenta and stuff. That one comes up over and over. And then he's got a bunch of brand new papers that talk about how a lot of ERVs actually upregulate proteins because.
So let me guess. His big thing is ERVs are not completely non-functional. That is a big point.
Jump DNA paradigm is completely overturned now. It's been debunked. Totally.
Of course.
And then he brought up the ENCODE project again.
Of course.
And then every other sentence he talks about how evolutionists have not read this literature, the current literature. Who the hell do you think is writing it?
Right.
What the fuck?
They just don't read it.
It's like,
propaganda.
We wrote it, but we didn't read it.
Right.
It's like
I wrote this book, but I didn't read it beforehand.
Yeah, I didn't read it, so I have no idea what's in it. Oh my God.
Man, I've got to take a speed reading course because I have all these books that somehow keep ending up either in my Kindle or at my doorstep, and they're stacked up and I can't get to them.
I took the opposite.
Greetings, Nestlig. Or
I
he
took
was
the
here
op-
yesterday, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Maybe he knows something.
Nestle, what did we do yesterday that got me a strike from YouTube? You got my video taken down and privatized. What did we do? Was it you? Maybe it was Otangelo. He was here, wasn't he? Briefly?
I know
I
he
don't
was here the
remember.
day before. He did something about the faint sun paradox, the faint young sun paradox.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe he has taken to doing something like that.
I'm going through the same thing that I'm sure every YouTuber goes through. Like I went through when Smokey first attacked me. Like that very first attack that Smokey did was a very dark night for me. And then I got through it. It was like nothing. It didn't, when he's calling us speedo pedo pudding and all that bullshit. And it really upset me. The first time something happens to you on your channel, it really gets under your skin. So this really got under my skin this morning. And I'm trying to manage the emotional because Christ, 2 years and I've never had anything like this happen. And a lot of people never do. So what the hell is going on? And I have no idea what I did. I thought yesterday was probably one of
the if it turns out I did something wrong, I'm sorry for that.
I can't imagine you doing anything wrong. I can't even get you to swear.
Well, I don't.
Maybe it was our vulgar language.
I'm working on it though.
Have you read the community guidelines?
I did, and it's like okay. I think the clause they caught me under was misrepresentation. I had that picture of that car. Maybe they thought that was misrepresentation, and I called it the evolution of cars in the Ediacaran. Maybe because we didn't actually prove the theory of the evolution of cars. I don't know.
Sorry.
Anyway, we got some video. Oh,
we
yeah,
have a video.
We have content.
It's a very good video. It's presented by Professor James D. Tabor, who is I think his PhD is in New Testament studies and languages or something like that, something having to do with first century Palestine. He does archaeological digs, and he also was involved, had some involvement with the situations going on around the Waco incident back in the 90s with David Koresh, trying to help the FBI understand what an apocalyptic religion or apocalyptic cult, how they view the world and how they view things. So, but anyway, in this particular one, this particular video, digging in the Holy Land, how text, archaeology, and science meet, he's went over quite a few of the digs that he had participated in. And he came up to this one section where they had found a burial site, which they expected to be empty because what they would do is after a year or so, they would take the bones of a deceased Jewish person there in the first century, and they would put them in an ossuary, which is some sort of stone box that contains the bones of deceased loved ones. But this particular grave it had a body in it, and they tried to figure out why. And after doing a bunch of tests and stuff, it was revealed that the individual had, I don't know if he died of the leprosy. You sort of die of conditions having to do with as a side effect of leprosy. But he was like the first documented case of somebody with Hansen's disease. That's the name of it, Hansen's disease, which is the actual medical name for what we think of as leprosy. in the first century. So before that, it was all, I think it was the medieval times was the first time that in that area of the Middle East where they had, a confirmed case of leprosy, aka Hansen's disease. So that was pretty interesting. But they also noted that the carcass, the body, was wrapped in two places in a shroud. There was a shroud for the head that was just wrapped around the head, and then there was one for the body, which wrapped the entire body. There wasn't a nice little rug-looking thing that went over the head and to the back and to the front. That just sort of, was like maybe like the wrapper for a burrito or a wrapper for a taco or something. That just kind of covers over the thing. It was almost mummy-like wrappings. And the thing is, in the Gospel of John, when it talks about the headpiece, Jesus' headpiece being folded and on the floor of the tomb, it indicates that this was the way that that most people were probably buried during the first century. And so go ahead and play this particular part, because he'll make a comment, an analysis of what he thinks about the position of the people who think that the Shroud of Turin is real and actually dates back to the first century.
Okay, I'll roll it.
Plus or minus 15. That's good enough for me. So this is a first century guy. Those of you who know the Gospels might be interested to learn that this burial shroud has two pieces. It has a headpiece and a body piece. And this is mentioned in the Gospel of John, that Jesus was wrapped in a shroud and the headpiece was separate. So it just shows that the person who wrote that knows the tradition. The Shroud of Turin people were very devastated by this discovery, because this shroud is nothing like the Shroud of Turin at all. In weave, in fabric, style, it's got a different kind of a cloth weave. Doesn't mean you couldn't have had another kind of shroud, but the point is everybody wanted the Shroud of Turin to be Jesus' shroud. If you know about it, you can Google it and read all about it. A lot of people think it's so proven. But our shroud is a first century shroud, and it's nothing like that. That's that full body shroud that you would wrap over. As far as I know, that wasn't the way they did it. Okay? So here's a reenactment. We did this for a film.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
But I advise everybody to watch this entire video. We have the link in the description, because it's really fascinating. And it's from the point of view of a gentleman who, I think he said he was an agnostic, in either this video or the second Tabor video we have in the description. And apparently he allows for more things in the New Testament to have actually happened than many scholars do. In other words, and what he does is he says that if you look in the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, you will see a whole lot about the mental state of people who think of themselves as Messiah, and that highly zealous individuals in the past who think of themselves as, called or religiously zealous, will look in the Bible and see themselves in the same light as the characters in the Hebrew Bible. So he thinks that all these messianic complexes that occurred in particular individuals throughout, the century prior to and after the first century, probably came from the Old Testament, in the sense that that served as the resources from which they got and fed their ideations, we'll call it, about being called specifically by God for a particular purpose. There's another word I use, but I don't want to get a strike.
We don't get a strike. We can't say any words today. No words.
That's right.
My ADHD is kicking in. But did you see what the George Bush did a speech.
I saw that.
Wasn't that wonderful? Does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Amazing Freudian slip.
He mentioned this horrible attack on Iraq.
He meant to say Ukraine, but he ended up saying Iraq.
Yeah.
Unprecedented, unprovoked.
And then kind of under his breath, he says, well, I'm 75. So it's like, give me a break. It was kind of beautiful, but holy shit. They're going to have fun with that one. You can't fuck up any worse than that. I mean, that is awesome. So,
thing is, there's no consequences for the elite anymore, so it doesn't matter.
They're showing a diagram of one of the digs here. Is that like the
yeah, that's where he's showing the layout of that grave area and where the different ossuaries would be.
Okay.
I believe.
They keep talking about the standard Israelite house, the 4-room house from like 1000 BC or something like that. In this book by Deaver, is that his name? The one I'm looking at?
Depends on which one you're reading. We've been looking at Deaver books and
I think
Finkelstein books.
I think Deaver. So anyway, yeah, this is a pretty interesting video to watch.
Oh, there's lots of interesting literature out there.
Oh my God, look at that. Sel and Rebecca. The evil duo. Anyway.
Oh, phylogeny.
Yeah.
Very crude one, but.
Yeah, but it's those are the ones that I like. I like the ones that look like lava lamps because they show the archaea and the bacteria coming together, and then the bacteria hitting the plants again. You know, up here. I think this one is pretty. To me, it's pretty accurate. So, well, wait a minute. Don't fungi? Oh, protista. Yeah. Okay, that's where they branch out. I think this one is pretty accurate. But it looks pretty good. That one on the left looks like a leaf.
Yep.
Like really like a leaf. On a tree. It's a tree. Oh no.
Running Tom says this is celebration. Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait a minute. I see what they did. They made shit. Yeah, it's very artistic. I didn't notice that they made Animalia look like a fish and the fungus look like a mushroom. I'm a little slow. I didn't get it. Anyway.
You get nothing.
Anyway.
Looks like we have a midnight sparkle among us.
Hello.
How you doing, Midnight?
Hello. Pretty good.
So Midnight, you called me a couple times, and I was like too tired to talk. So
I think I only called you once.
Twice. Yeah, I rejected 2 of your calls recently. I keep track. I got a little counter. Midnight. People who I reject. You know, I like. Oh no, I don't want to talk.
I mean, glad to see you treating me like immutable now, and not talking to me.
Wait a minute. I rejected Immutable's calls like 20 times in a row in one day.
I mean, yeah, but I never called you 20 times, so there you go.
Oh, Icarus.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I always laugh at Icarus, but then I feel bad because of it.
Okay, is it
why.
just me, or am I hearing a loud cat purring in the background?
I don't think it's
Like,
like
Where's that coming from? What's that noise?
Oh,
I
that's
think it's
probably. No, that's probably in my kitchen. Hang on a second.
Yeah,
He has a tiger in his kitchen, or a liger.
Well, do big cats actually purr? I forgot.
I
I
think
thought
they
that
do.
was cheetahs. I don't know.
I think it's
If they do or
universal.
not. That would be so cool to have a lion purring. I mean, that would be loud.
Before it bit your face off, yeah.
Before it bit your face off, yeah.
I had a dream the other day that I was like walking on this dirt road out in the country, and there was these, barbed wire fences like you see everywhere, and then there were lions and tigers on the pasture, and I was going, man, why didn't they put a stronger fence up or whatever? So
But they left out the bears.
I did not have any bears in my dream. I wonder what that means.
Well, it means that you were accurate. That you were
That is
accurate.
true.
Biology is accurate. because I don't think
Well,
lions
sort of.
and tigers and bears actually walk and run around together. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
They do
I
not.
think they used to in like the South Asia, but I don't think
Oh, maybe.
anymore. Maybe,
Yeah.
or at least not lions and tigers.
Well, in Kansas they do, I guess.
Eric. Oh no.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
We're getting some good ones. Good ones.
Oh,
Up,
that's
echo.
these are noteworthy.
Wait, okay. If you are Wendy's bound, maybe you should go to the cell and for. God damn, dude. I love
that
these.
Yes, that was good.
I'm hearing echo.
Why?
Jeff is using a vibrator to flower. What the fuck?
There'd be some echoing going on around here.
Oh my god.
Indeed,
Downey
it's going.
Thomas. He studies cellular biology. God
Oh
damn.
no.
Okay, why did you wait? Did we lose speed?
Yeah, he took a dive and came back in to get the echoing.
Yeah, I think Andrew, I
the
think you're the only one that notices that, but nobody else mentions it. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it just you hearing it? Because it happens when I play a video through my audio channel mixer and I'm on StreamYard, and then StreamYard will start echoing until I reset StreamYard.
Maybe I just have really good ears. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we don't normally get political around here, but Doubting Thomas, I think you have a great idea. That's not the one I meant to click on, but that's just as funny.
When he drools, yes.
Aquaman of Atheism. Where's the one I saw?
Oh, God. What is happening? What is going on?
It's a pandemic.
Oh my God!
No, mascot. Bad.
That's Scott. Yeah, we
help me.
Okay. Yeah, midnight. I got a strike on my channel for community guidelines, so we can't use any words today. So no words that might make somebody even slightly emotional or make them think.
So
why
are you telling me this?
Because you're the last one that came on.
Because you're the last one that came on.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out. Benghazi made this comment about me being Marlboro Man of Atheism on my last video, and I'm not sure if it's meant as a good thing or a bad thing.
Who is Marlboro Man? I've never heard that.
The Marlboro Man?
He was a marketing concept of the rugged individual cowboy type man who smokes Marlboros and everything.
I was on a plane trip somewhere out the I don't know, fucking East Coast or something, and there was this really, really big creepy guy, and there was a teenage girl, and she asked to switch seats with me, and I refused to switch with her because I had a window seat, and she was in the middle. But then we ended up talking, so she was the Marlboro Man's daughter. And then when we went to pick up our luggage, I got to meet the Marlboro Man. I think he was the last Marlboro Man, and I thought that was cool. I got to meet the Marlboro Man, and I smoked like a chimney back then, so I really appreciated it. He was like my hero. He was like my superhero, right? So I got to meet him. That was cool.
That might be true, Benghazi. I am quite non-old.
You know, the thing is, you guys have got to learn your history and keep up with, like past movies, memes, and things that happened.
You need to go back and watch every movie ever made. That's your burden.
I'll try.
You know what I did last night? I watched the pilot episode of Hop Along Cassidy. Now, I don't know. Most of you probably haven't heard of Hop Along, have you, Scott?
I've heard of him, but was that like a movie serials?
No,
it
was a really bad Western movie. It was like the worst. I had a hell of a time getting through it, but the reason I watched it is because we got a TV when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I used to sit on this brown couch, and I remember the couch to me was like, the size of a house, right? I remember sitting on this couch watching Hopalong Cassidy and Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, and what was the other one? Lone Ranger, and I watched those shows every day. And so I thought, okay, here, 67 years ago, I was watching this TV show, and I was trying to figure out as a 3 or 4 year old, what in the fuck was I getting out of this show? Because it just didn't make any sense. I mean, it makes no sense at all to an adult or a child. There's nothing in this show that made any sense. I'm like, what in the hell was I watching? I must have liked I always had a gun. I always had a toy cap pistol, right? And I wore cowboy hats because throughout my first 6 years of my life, I was obsessed with wearing a gun. And God, that's weird because I'm still obsessed with wearing a gun. Wow. I think I figured something out.
Now, just to kind of give you some context, there was a 1991 movie called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man that had like Mickey Rourke, Don Johnson, and some others that I'm not going to even bother to mention because you'll probably ask me, well, who are they? Mickey Rourke was in an Iron Man movie.
Okay, can I ban Doubting Thomas for that one?
He's offending some people with his puns.
Jesus Christ, all these Sal puns. What the fuck?
Well, apparently they're in a very, punny mood today.
Funny mood. Pretty funny.
Right, I could just imagine Sal reviewing this, reviewing this video and be like, the chat made so many puns about me and I don't like it.
He's gonna
probably every video.
They'll probably flag it for misrepresentation.
Right. My name is actually a cell pun because I was Hellbound Speed of Sound. Then yesterday I became Heavenbound Speed of Sound. And now
the reasons on that community guideline, or actually that email, were deception, scams, and something, and then another scam. So
what did we do?
Deceptive practices is the only thing I could think that could possibly, because there's no scam being run here.
That's the same one that they would flag people for doing, like, all those people that were doing the Stop the Steal stuff back,
I got flagged right after the election. Bullying, for fuck's sake. Like, I don't know, like one of my streams got flagged for bullying, but I only got a warning because my channel was clean before then. I don't know what it was. I guess it was the word albino in the title. But I emailed them saying, "What the fuck? What is this? Oh, we reviewed it and we think you were being a bully." I'm like, okay, well then fuck you.
Yeah, scam, deceptive practices, and scam policy. So we weren't trying to sell anything.
Yeah, I don't know how you would have gotten but it sounds like somebody flagged you, and then cited that one.
It was because we talked about SFT and its car analogy. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe that thumbnail I used had some meaning that I wasn't aware of.
Maybe.
I don't know what the hell it was. Let's see if I can find it.
This is the problem. We're coming up with a million different speculations, and we're not getting any closer.
And you can't get actual information out of.
Well, because that was the one that I remember hearing that they had stopped accepting appeals for because that was the category that was the election fraud stuff, quote unquote election.
Wait. Okay, I need to address something. Okay, Doubting Thomas, line up. I'm pretty sure I'm already lighting up as much as I can. I'm an albino. I can't light up anymore.
Yeah, you can't lighten up anymore now.
Midnight bullies on the light, so it reflects away from me.
Is that a new theory of light all of a sudden?
What the fuck? Oh my god. Midnight bullies on the lights. Oh my god, Big Ghazi. That was good. I'll give you that one. But he only brightens up a room.
We need something to talk about here, or else this is gonna get outfanned.
I'm flagging this for bullying. Sorry.
So I'm let's see here. Where the heck is it?
Are we ever gonna actually talk about
Friday?
Well, there's a lot of
Or are you
work.
going to say that's something else?
Okay, here's the thumbnail I had yesterday. So is that deceptive in any way? I mean, what is that a thumbnail of?
It's pretty accurate for your cat.
It was a random cartoon about the evolution of automobiles. So I don't know. I have no idea why that would have done it.
I wonder if somebody else used the same image and they're mad about it.
Yeah, I just
But
got.
we have to guess. You're right. It's
I gotta let
it's
it
a
go.
guessing game because Google is not being a good business.
So anyway, Jefferson, that's why they're not allowing me to appeal it, because it fell into the category where you can't appeal.
I'd heard that, but I thought that they were reversing that because there were problems like this. If people figure out that the secret to the sauce is like if you just accuse somebody of this particular thing, it renders them helpless to appeal. You could just rack them up, left and right. But there were a bunch of people that were complaining about that. So I don't know, and I don't know why that would be that. Well, I think they still have to be just as diligent now.
Nothing festive about Midnight Sparkle. Okay, well, whatever. Agree to disagree.
Well, that could be Eric, but let's hope it's not that. That would be really low for them.
Shit Show Friday. Everybody, Shit Show Friday. Woohoo!
So the thing about Cell in his video, he was planning to do this video. Then he found a paper where we discovered a prokaryote with a nuclear envelope, and so he kind of like he leaned back for an extra week and he thought about it, and then he came up with the same bullshit. I don't know what he changed.
So I guess he didn't do much thinking in that week.
He didn't do a lot of thinking, no. So, but it's he goes through. Oh, what does he go through? The nuclear pore and how it has to have a password to get into the nucleus, which is just absolute bullshit.
Wait, SFT wrote a new book? Or are you talking about an old new book?
Oh,
he wrote a new book on ERVs.
And I started looking at it this morning, and I am so sad.
He's not impressed.
Your brain cells are depressed because you're going to be reading that book.
So what is this one? Start codon, stop codon. So what the hell is he talking about here? I don't know what he's talking about.
It's like a game of...
spliceosomes.
I forget the game.
He doesn't think spliceosomes get involved.
Doubting Thomas, he wrote several books.
Nuclear pore envelopes can't evolve, and the only thing he did is he doesn't mention the nuclear envelope anymore, and then
he's basically a God believer in search of gaps.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah.
What is that? Oh, he talks about the wonders of meiosis, and let's see. Okay, that's wonderful. And what else? DNA. Okay, chromatin rearrangement in the nucleus. Talks about the wonders of that and the wonders of epigenetics and how none of this shit can evolve. But if you Google any of these things with the word evolve, you'll find paper after paper after paper.
After paper, after paper, after paper, after. Okay, I'm done.
Channeling SFT there. Paper
DNA is part of a complex. DNA chromatin computer complex. What the fuck did I just read? Is this
a bit red flag to me?
Yeah, Standing for Truth's new book. What is this?
No, this is Barbara Bryant. What the hell
is that?
What journal is this?
I'm about to find out. DNA is part of what? DNA.
I'm a bit sketchy there that they would use computer and DNA in the same title there.
I'm guessing we got a creationist here, but could be somebody point. Okay, chromatin combination by B. Bryant. Oh no, it's published anyway in PLOS One. Maybe she pulled a Ramat the fruit bat on it and just copied the image on it. I don't know.
Oh well.
No, it's somebody trying to make the point that there's a whole lot of chromatin spookiness going on in the nucleus. Chromatin. I illustrate the use of this chromatin computer to solve an instance of the Hamiltonian path problem. So legitimate paper, just happens to appeal. Well, almost anything appeals to creationists these days.
Iron Charioteer here has some financial advice for you, Speed. I think you maybe need to consider it.
Spend your money on triple cheese, triple bacon pizzas instead of buying SFT's book. You know what? I second that. Screw SFT's book. Buy my book instead.
Well, I for one am looking forward to Dr. Dan's review of that book. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
How has that damn been anyway? It's been years since he's been on here.
Seems to be doing good.
He's been in our chat quite a bit, and I've recently talked to him about this book actually.
And his review of Traced was
very exciting.
Second to none. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So I've been buying these cauliflower pizzas with cauliflower crust, and they're actually quite good.
So they now make them prepackaged?
Yeah.
Cauliflower pizza crusts?
Yeah, Costco. You can get them.
My life has just changed.
Right. And then what I do is I go to Sam's Club and I buy this huge carton of pepperoni. And I take that pepperoni and I chop it in. I chop the big slices into 4 squares. And then I pile about 1.5 pounds of pepperoni on top of the cauliflower crust. And then I put tomatoes on that. And then I cover that whole thing with cheese. And then I melt it, and it ends up being about that high. I carried it downstairs the other day, and I was out of breath by the time I got to my chair because the pizza was so goddamn heavy. But it's wonderful. But there's the cauliflower crust, and then 4 inches of meat, and then 1 inch of cheese, and 1 inch of tomatoes. And that's a pizza. That's some good shit. I'm just saying.
Pizza is a lie.
Just say. My son asked me not to put so much pepperoni on his pizza. Can you imagine somebody saying that out loud?
Not to put pepperoni on your pizza or so much?
Not to put so much.
Is there a limit?
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't get it.
Maybe it might get too spicy. I don't know.
I don't know what he was talking about. I find it hard to understand the younger generation.
Yeah, when you said cauliflower crust, what I was mostly thinking of was when I tried to make pizza crust out of, I guess, mozzarella cheese or something.
Yeah.
Or what kind of cheese? I can't remember, but a cheese crust is good, but it sure takes some doing.
It'll melt.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, you got to have a cauliflower base. But anyway, the cauliflower crust actually tastes better than the bread crust, I think. I don't know. I like it. And cauliflower rice is another big thing. So I'm trying to do this no carb thing.
You know, I got a cauliflower rice, quote unquote, burrito. You know, it's a place. It's
no, don't highlight that one.
It's Freebirds, and they'll put their burritos in a bowl for you, and they have a keto bowl, which is cauliflower rice plus all the contents of their burritos.
Yeah, they do that at Subway too. They just take the meat and put it in there. And yeah, it's cool. In fact, most places offer lettuce wraps. You can do a no carb thing, which is good. Anyway, I think I go to Wendy's.
Keto is God. Wait, I mean good. I mean
well,
both.
You know, having gone on a keto diet before, it really helped me manage, you know, this diabetes I'm stuck with now. So
Iron Charioteer, I went keto for about 6 months a while back and lost 25 pounds and felt great. And then somebody brought me a cheesecake, and somehow I fell off the wagon. You can't eat just one cheesecake, right? You got to eat 5 of them, and then donuts. And then I kind of like went off the whole thing. But I used to take my hamburgers at a restaurant and throw the bread away and just eat the hamburger, which is actually a lot better. I don't know. Anyway. But what's happening? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to shoot it in the head. We seem to be winding.
Already?
Oh, there's Doubting
we
Thomas.
can't. Doubting Thomas is with us.
Hey, Doubting Thomas.
Hey, you make me doubt.
I had typed something up today after I was I can't remember what I was listening to. I think it was on Pine Creek, where he was talking to a Christian, and I think I have just basically come up with a way to restate.
Oh, no.
Or did I just like make Doubting Thomas leave?
Well, we lost Doubting Thomas, but we earned someone else in the chat.
Probably a connection. Oh, Standing for Truth. Oh, you're there. I've been reviewing your book.
Okay, Doubting
so
Thomas.
Far he doesn't like it.
All right.
Oh, now he's
Did I
back.
offend you, Doubting Thomas, or was it a technical thing?
Still isn't with us.
I can't hear him.
Anyway, Standing for Truth, I reviewed your book, and I could do it in one sentence. It's poop. No, is potato.
Is
Potatoes.
potato.
Sounds delicious.
Is potato. I'm surprised the is potato thing has not reached further than it I guess Stephen Colbert fans do is potato, but I don't know.
Hey, standing, buddy, come on the stream. We would love to have you.
Standing. We are not the League of Doom. We are but a messenger.
You mean the Legion of Doom, not League.
Legion of Doom. Potato. That's what he said.
No.
He said a league. Don't quote me on that. You insignificant mushroom.
Yo, whoa, Andrew, whoa.
It's not be calling people, funguses and stuff.
Did you call somebody a fungus?
I guess I'm channeling my supervillain vibes here.
DT, are you with us?
Yeah. Sorry. I tried to join on my other phone, but I had no audio when I entered StreamYard.
You still don't really have audio. you're
it's real staticky.
Standing.
All right. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Andrew's villain name is the Human Nested Hierarchy. You know what? I want a villain name.
I reject that name. It's not catchy.
You don't want to? All right.
Static for truth. I like that.
I guess my villain name is the Marlboro Man.
Yeah, that's good. The Marlboro Man of Atheism. That's pretty good. That I would hang on to. That is a compliment, I think. Anyway.
You shouldn't actually take what I said earlier to be offensive, Midnight, because
I know.
One guy, they make the world go round. Anyway, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm trying to.
It's a term of endearment.
If the fungus was not among us, we'd all die.
You're right. No one likes fungi. It's a shame. They get a bad rap.
I love fungi.
There's a fungus in my toenail I just really want to speak harshly to, but other than that, I'm okay with it.
Too much info.
Yeah, too much info.
TMI. Yeah. What the fuck is it about religious people washing their feet? I mean, that is so gross.
Well, it's a thing of like you wear sandals, you walk on dirt roads,
you sweat.
Yeah,
you get your feet get funky.
So it's dirty.
Your feet sweat if you put them inside of shoes. They don't sweat if you put them in sandals.
Well, they sweat, but
do they?
Oh yeah,
mine don't.
But at any rate, it's just just an act of humility and an act of servitude. The one who washes the feet is usually in a humble
standing
position.
For truth. I haven't washed my feet in years. Okay, that's disgusting.
Haven't washed my feet.
You haven't washed my feet in years.
Well, it's just kind of weird. I just think it's kind of weird.
They corrected it.
I mean, if you want to wash your feet, go in the fucking bathroom and close the door and do that shit. Don't do that shit.
But that's something a slave would do.
What denomination is it where they make a deal out of that?
It depends. Different denominations will make a deal out of it. There were some Foursquare gospel churches, I think, that used to do that. Some of them, like in North Carolina, even put it right up there with Lord's Supper and baptism as a kind of a ordinance.
Like a sacrament. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably
sorry,
somebody who had a foot fetish, and it was their excuse to wash a bunch of women's feet, right?
Well, there was also a terminology.
I mean, did you expect any
washing
other
the feet
reaction?
of the saints, and that's in the scripture. In other words, that's somebody who shows their humility by A, literally washing the feet of the saints, and B, just being hospitable and providing for the needs of others.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could think of other ways to be hospitable towards others and put the needs of others, before mine than washing feet.
Yeah, I would be like, if I lived back in those times, I'd be like, oh, welcome to my place. Would you like something to drink? Strict rule, I draw the line at washing your feet. You can do that yourself.
Yeah.
Well water's out back. Mind the goats.
Go to a grocery store and walk up to a random set of young ladies and ask them if you can wash their feet and see what happens to you.
Oh my God! No, don't do that.
You better wear a helmet.
I just want to say it's sad that SFT just showed up today when we did this stream yesterday, totally dismantling his car analogy, and unfortunately it's now gone.
Oh my goodness!
Coincidence?
I think not.
Your ERV.
But no. Speed. Regarding what you said about going up to girls in a supermarket and asking if you could wash their feet, the most surprising would be if one of them said yes.
No, if they would wash his feet.
Oh, his feet. Okay, no, yeah. I think I misheard.
Yep.
What are you gonna say, Speed?
Oh, I totally forgot about that. But
you're gonna say something about ERVs, right?
Yeah. Standing for Truth's book is very much in our targets, and it's going to be such an easy target. I mean, he proclaims, he's constantly proclaiming that this is a better model, and it's like, oh my God, it's just horrible. Anyway, we'll get to that.
So hey, Speed.
Getting back to that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, getting back to that foot washing thing. If somebody came up to me and offered to wash my feet for me, I would have one question: to completion?
Well, no. Another question.
Sorry, Speed.
Another question I would ask is, why do you want to wash my feet?
Yeah.
Like that should be your first question.
Why are we fixated on feet washing here?
Well, because it freaks me out. And so actually foot fetishes have always really confused me too.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Anyway, Doubting Thomas is here. Let's acknowledge him in the room.
Oh, Doubting Thomas.
Doubting, how are you, sir?
I'm good. This is all pedantic.
We can hear you.
You're pedantic.
Anyway, can we wash your feet?
Sure.
God damn it.
No, I did keto and I lost 40 pounds in like 3 months.
Yeah, it really works. It must really fuck up your metabolism somehow because you start to burn. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend being overly zealous about it. I have a carb here and there just in case. I don't know. I ate vegetables and fruit, so you get some carbs and fruit. So anyway,
the only fruit I ate was berries.
Yeah, that's what I eat all the time is berries. I always try to keep a certain amount of berries in my digestive tract. I don't know why. So I read some papers once, and somehow I developed an idea that it might be good. But
were there certain berries that you wouldn't eat because they supposedly cause inflammation?
Well, there's only certain berries are technically keto. Like fruit, bananas aren't keto, and they're not a berry. I realize that, but I'm not sure if strawberries are technically keto or not. I think it's just like blackberries.
Actually, but the bananas are a berry.
Are they really?
Yeah, technically they're a berry. The banana tree is actually a bush. They're a berry.
Oh, bushes are what define berries, huh? I never knew that.
Well, no, I mean, I think by now they've been so bred that I don't know what their technical
they've been bred to
definition.
Be seedless, right?
I love banana bread.
But wild bananas, I mean the ones the green ones.
Benghazi said, "I got a couple berries for you, DT." Like, is it just me, or is he talking about what I think he's talking about?
So, raspberries are not berries, but bananas are. So
yeah, we don't name our food very consistently.
No, we don't.
Except your berries.
Well, dingleberries. You can eat all the dingleberries you want. I don't know what it did. Oh no. What did I highlight?
Oh no. Yeah.
I think I just realized.
Anywho, we shooting in the head, or what are we doing? Is Standing for Truth coming in here? What's going on?
Oh, I don't think he's coming in. I don't know. I don't have the energy. I think we could shoot in the head. What do you think, guys?
Let's let Nestle advertise his talk with Vandalia 1998, because they talked about angiosperms, and then he talked about what counts as a fruit and a berry, which I think is very pertinent vis-a-vis this discussion.
Yeah, so
we're still going to talk about creationist misconceptions, vestigial stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, you can talk about that. Yeah.
If you find a conversation about twigs and berries, though, maybe avoid that one because that's going to be about something else.
I also had a thing where I think I have narrowed down the Pascal's wager to 2 short sentences.
And, believe in God or don't at your own peril. There you go.
I wanted to see what y'all thought, but we can do that at a later time.
Oh man, you can't drop that bomb and then leave.
Yeah. Go ahead and then I'll say what I want to say.
Okay. Let's see. What I reduce it down to is there may be a post-mortem monster who wants to make you suffer after you die. How do you calculate the probability of that?
Jesus.
Good question.
I was just somebody was trying to give Doug from Pine Creek a kind of a version of Pascal's wager, and it just sort of came to me, or maybe I stole it from him. I don't know. I wasn't quite listening to it directly, but yeah, there's a post-mortem monster who wants to make you suffer when you die. What's the probability of that? I wonder if we could get that on Randolph Richardson's thing that he does every 2 weeks. Do they have a name for that, by the way?
Their Discord thing?
Yeah.
Not a pithy one. It's always just that title. It's that question that
there's a few who do this. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I think they've been thinking about trying to give it like a different name. I think they've got like a semi-permanent room now too, but it's been a while since I've been in that. Those things. I mean, they usually do those things kind of early-ish for me, and I'm usually out of town, so usually visiting family. So the last thing I'm going to do is.
So, is there ever really a way to establish a probability of something like that in a Pascal's wager situation? I just don't know how to put a number to it.
Well, I mean, you'd have to try to figure out why would you be under the impression that there's something waiting, that something can be a threat to you after you're dead, right? So, I mean, it presupposes a bunch of stuff that you're not actually, I mean, your body's going to die, but you're going to go on in some way, shape, or form. Your identity will persist, and it's going to persist in a way where it can still be threatened, but now in new and intriguing ways.
And what are the odds of that?
Yeah, so it's not just the monster. It's also like, what are the odds that you persist after bodily death?
Well, you know for a fact that you can't get killed by a falling tree if you never go into the forest. So, knowing that, should you never go into the forest?
Unless someone...
Exactly.
I don't know.
Unless someone drops a Christmas tree on you in the city. Ha-ha.
Every second.
Checkmate. Checkmate, atheist. I see.
And you might be talking about a hat tree too. So,
yeah, my son is always talking to me about probabilities because I'm always like, I have all these probabilities that I'm concerned with about things happening to me, like one of the reasons why I'm weaponized. Because I have this like idea that, something bad might happen someday, or there are certain roads I won't drive on because I've seen too many fatal accidents on them. So I don't like them. And there are, like, I don't go out in the forest when the wind is blowing really hard because I'm afraid a tree is going to fall on me, because I've seen trees fall out there and it's like, I ain't going out there. Nope. But I mean,
there's a book written by Jared Diamond. It wasn't Gun, Germs, and Steel, but it talked about the very same thing about being a primitive tribes person who lives in the jungle. That's
right.
One of the big decisions is how much time are you going to spend off of trails, or if you're on the trails, what are the odds that something is going to land on you, and that's it for the rest of your life. You're either going to be crippled or brain damaged, or you'll just be dead, and your family will be on their own.
Yeah, and those are real probabilities now. Okay, take a look at roasting in hell forever as a problem. I mean, that one doesn't make any sense to me, because for reasons.
Well, the whole idea is the idea of forever, that somehow
forever,
if you can imagine that forever you'll roast in hell, then that makes the odds, I guess, 100%, because it's so eternal, and you would never want to risk that to chance.
Yeah, but then if you look into the Bible, they don't actually talk about that anywhere.
Right, yeah.
Well, wouldn't you also have to factor in the probability of whether you chose the right God or not?
Exactly. Hey, Bree.
Hey. Thought you were going to kick me out. I guess you all were fighting who was going to let me in, huh?
Yeah, we were. We wanted you in so quickly that we stepped on each other. We stepped on you, actually.
Yeah.
Do you have a headache now? Do you need to take some ibuprofen?
I am freaking loving your hat, though.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's Friday. I feel festive. Why not wear a colorful hat?
You look classy as hell. I'm just going to say it right now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had a suit on,
you need
you'd be gone.
A martini or something in your hand. Just looking
that would be nice.
Chic. There you go. And now Speed's going to join us with the hat.
He's literally cowboying up right in front of us.
That reminds me, Luca was in the side chat, and I forgot to ask him about his talk with Crackers McQueen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
But I guess, Luca. Are you there, Luca?
Daddy and Thomas. Hello.
I don't think I've hear you. If you're muted, Doubting. DT.
Oh, so what's going on, Brady?
Hey, good to see ya. Well, kind of see you. I don't got my glasses on, so I can kind of see you guys.
See each other.
Yeah. I think this is the first time I've seen Doubting Thomas's face.
I'm thinking I haven't seen it before.
I don't know if I have. So, you think it went well, Luca? I thought, what the hell? I'm not physics is like my worst subject, right? So I was trying to follow what Crackers was saying, and what he was saying, like at one time he mistook time for temperature in one of his equations, and he kept talking about differential equations, but I didn't see any proof that he actually knew what the hell one was. It was really odd. I mean, he keeps throwing out these things, and I'm just not sure about Dr. Crackers. But he was saying like something totally different about this. And Luca put out this really good intro on what the temperature would be with all the water. You know, how much water just the water alone would contribute to the temperature. And then they were talking about
a lightsaber, he said. A lightsaber. Of water.
Yeah, basically a lightsaber of water. I mean, the whole thing doesn't make sense. And when the creationists start talking about it, it seems like they're skipping over the top of every possible detailed discussion and just saying, "Oh, it'll work."
I liked that Luca had a lightsaber to counteract the other dude's Pac-Man that he draws all the time. So,
yeah.
Yeah, Pac-Man doesn't.
I mean, water is great at absorbing heat, but I think they're kind of overestimating the abilities of water there.
Well, it has to. It's still, the heat still has to dissipate, though. It doesn't just the water doesn't soak it up. It has to.
Yeah.
It has to energize it. It has to be energized in order to.
Water gets hot too.
Yeah.
Kitty alert.
Luca's going to join us and give us his impressions of the debate.
Okay.
Is he?
That sounds great.
Yeah, my agent talked with his agent and
excited to put something together. That's great.
Oh, that's
hello, Bakil.
That's Leophilius.
Hello, Leo.
How are you, Leo?
We're about to shoot it in the head, Leo.
Or are we going to let Luca?
As soon as he clicks on the link, we will.
So, were you going to talk about vestigial organs, or did you have a little thing you wanted to?
Oh, I guess I was just gonna. I don't know. Well, I was reading earlier today how creationists kind of view the whole topic of vestigial structures and how, like, in anything related to junk DNA or stuff like that, for example, they claim that if it has function, then it's no longer vestigial for some reason.
Yeah, if it does anything at all,
right?
Then it does everything.
That's such a weird position to take, because a vestigial structure can have a lot of functions. I mean,
right?
The vestigial proteins that make up the spinnerets in spiders, it used to go towards building the telson, the stinger on the when they were scorpions.
Well, remember, at heart, creationists are fundamentalists, and one of the aspects of fundamentalism that is dangerous for people is the fallacy of black and white, either or, and it also turns into kind of a rhetorical device and advantage to say, well, since it's got a function, it's not vestigial. It's a rhetorical strategy.
Yeah, by the definition of the word vestigial, people assume it means functionless.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point I was trying to make, is that, like, if a good example of a vestigial structure would be the ostrich wing, because it's vestigial not in the sense that lacks a purpose altogether, or a function, I should say, altogether. Like, it still can be used in courtship displays and whatnot, but it's vestigial in the sense, it's vestigial in the sense that it's reduced in terms of what Darwin called its proper purpose, that is flying. Like, it's vestigial as a wing, and that doesn't make sense in a design perspective, because that basically goes against what creationists talk about, that form follows function, that the designer designed it for a specific purpose or whatnot. Because if he designed an ostrich wing, for example, and he made it look just like a really small reduced wing, but for some odd reason the ostrich isn't flying, so it doesn't make sense from a design perspective, even though they try and claim that, well, it's not totally functionless or whatnot.
Ratites are especially a good example of that, because you have a whole spectrum of reduced wing to the wing basically completely disappearing, like the kiwi, and then you have like the emu that has it doesn't have any functional wings, just a little claw and just atrophied arm, and then the rails, they have wings that clearly were once functional and are now they just don't fly anymore. So you have this whole spectrum. But can
I jump in here before we get too far past it to answer Icarus' question? Mm-hmm. I just transposed the suffix syllables of the name of the Italian philosopher Achille Belgrami to Bilkil Agrami, just as a joke. So Achille Belgrami is quite a prominent Italian philosopher. He's the one that so anybody that knows Danny's argument for dualism, and it's not substance dualism, anybody who thinks it's a substance dualism is an idiot. He got that from Jack Angstreich, and Jack Angstreich believes developed the argument from, I believe, a talk that Achille Belgrami gave, where Achille Belgrami shows that intentionality is irreducibly normative and thus cannot be construed in physical terms. So he is quite a prominent philosopher.
And speaking of Italian, I think we have Luca here. You're Italian, right, Luca?
Yes.
Okay, good. I thought, well, man, what if I got that wrong? But you had a debate with somebody named McQueen, whom we have labeled Dr. Crackers because he doesn't believe that under pressure that rocks will soften and become slightly malleable in order to facilitate the rising of strata as well as mountains.
Yes, I did discuss with him, and the all continental drift with the impact. It was elastic impact in his mind. I cannot even start to comprehend, to understand, how it will work. Honestly, a continental crust, it's not a bowl, so it's not like it can bounce back from an impact like that. So that's one, but it was full of quite strange things in his presentation, and his ideas in general are quite peculiar. I can say that.
Yeah, when I listen to him, I can't understand what the hell how he's connecting the dots. Right? Is that what it doesn't make sense what he says.
Yes, for example, his famous equation. He did bring up an equation, and to be honest, and I did discuss it with Jordan too, we have no idea what was talking about. I have no idea what was that.
I'm afraid
he was talking about activation energy. That's a real thing, but when you are talking about a chemical reaction of some sort, I cannot understand why something like that is even in an equation on blobs, and I really cannot understand his point at all. I'm pretty curious to know more, because I no clue, and I think not to be offensive, I really like the guy on a personal level. It's quite fun to interact, but I think that he does not know thermodynamics at all, if I want to be honest.
Okay, so Nestle, Ramachandran's work on blind sight and basically blind sight in general, there isn't only one pathway for vision. In your thalamus, I think there are 7 or maybe 14 video maps that go to, I'm going to forget the name of the nucleus, but there's a nucleus on the bottom of your thalamus that has a number of visual maps. And people that have blind sight can respond to other maps. Kind of think of it in terms of, you've got some insects and arthropods that have an extra eye on top of their head, and they can tell when something's flying over them. We have the same kind of structures in our brain. So if you're blind, and basically your occipital lobe is disconnected from the rest of your brain, so that you are technically blind for reasons, you still have a number of retinotopic maps that would allow you to, at a very, very, what seems like a subconscious level, to navigate around things and be able to see things and be able to guess them. And that's why blind sight is it's a fascinating subject, because we seem to be able to sense things without seeing them. And so you could describe these visual maps as another sense. But anyway, Ramachandran, I call him the Rama, because he has Jesus status with me. Absolutely. And he rolls his R's like nobody can roll their R's.
That was an interesting answer, but I thought the question was for me. I would just say I don't know what's being asked.
Yeah, that's so it's a question about blind sight. So they
I don't know what blind sight is. I don't know what he's asking. Like, what is he asking? What is blind sight? Like, I don't know what's being asked.
He's asking what you think of it, I think.
I don't know what it is. I can't have thoughts of something when I don't know what it is.
Okay, they did a bunch of experiments with people that have a certain kind of blindness. Basically, they've got some damaged area in their brain where their occipital lobe, their primary visual center is no longer working, so they are technically blind. They cannot see, and they will insist that they are blind and cannot see. But when they put them in a hallway and they have to navigate around items, or if they have to guess if something is in the left hand or the right hand, they statistically they get it right a lot, way more than they should if they can't see. So for a long time, they thought these people were faking it, but actually they have this sense, this other sense that it's because of other retinotopic maps that map from
what is a retinotopic
does
map?
Does it have anything to do with their eyes, with their actual eyes, or is it? Are you saying it's like their pineal gland?
Yeah, it's going into your eye, but when it goes into your brain, it divides in the thalamus into a number of areas. And there's God, what is the name of that?
Because you'd mentioned the ocelli and like insects, but diapsids have that too. They have an eye between on the top of their head. It doesn't. It's just basically a photoreceptor. It's got a skin or a scale over top of it, so it can't do anything besides pick up light and dark, but it's connected to the gland, just like it is in us, to the pineal gland, which releases melatonin when it's time to go to sleep. When it gets dark, it triggers it to release melatonin. So we have that in our physiology. Naturally, we still have that gland, and it still releases melatonin, but it's not exposed to the light anymore. There's no photo.
I just wanted to say, as far as I understood it, the visual cortex, I don't even know if that's relevant to the discussion. As I understand it, the visual cortex can be stimulated by numerous other brain activity that has nothing to do with the eyes.
I think it's the pulvinar nucleus that basically, it was a bad analogy, brain bug. Did brain bug go away?
No, I'm still here. I'm right in the middle.
Oh,
hello. Hello, Leo.
It was a bad analogy because these sensations do come through on your retina. So you're actually getting visual maps that go into different parts.
Wait, are you saying that like blind people, the eye is still picking up information, just not the right kind?
If the eye works, and if the the optical cables are still wired.
I'm visually impaired, so I can still see. But
visually impaired and blind don't mean the same thing. Blind generally means like you can't, like you literally cannot see.
But see, Leo, here's an interesting thing. Whenever I tell people I'm legally blind, they always focus on the blind part. Wait, if you're legally blind, how can you see? I'm like, it doesn't mean I'm completely blind. It's just, you know what I mean? I've had so many people ask me, wait, if you're legally blind, how can you see?
Do you think that's tactile though, Nestlig? The comment here. Do you think that they're feeling motions in the air movements, or just shifts in the air movement of the environment? I wonder how it compares testing people.
No, behind glass. They have corrected for that problem in these experiments.
So there's controls for that. Okay.
There's controls. It's definitely visual information that they're getting. But then they found, your optical nerves go into the thalamus, into the LGN, but they also go into another nuclei. I think it's the pulvinar, and it's at the bottom. And in that pulvinar, I think they found up to 14. A retinotopic map, Leo, on the back of your brain. The visual field of your eye is mapped almost geometrically to the back of your brain. So if you unrolled those folds like a pizza, you could actually put probes in there and tell what a person was seeing, because the XY coordinates are the same.
Even if they didn't know what they were seeing, theoretically, the device could know from the information.
No, we're confusing two things. I'm talking about what a retinotopic map is. So the eye maps into the brain, just like the XY coordinates are accurate. it doesn't cross all over. They're actually accurate, and there's more than one map in the brain, and these other maps are what are working in blindsight, so they can get a sense of what's out there without actually seeing it, because to see it you have to have it go into your occipital lobe, and
So-
it has to be processed by a
Retinal
massive
topic.
complex
Yeah, that
vision.
means like they're aware of the landscape. They're aware of. But what Nestlig mentioned was that they weren't seeing anything until it moved, which is different than what you're describing. Because you're describing that they're basically that they got a topographic image or topographic image in their brain that they're not in their visual cortex, but in different parts of the brain.
And I'm not sure if they can see things move. They can see static things. They test it.
I mean,
but moving is an entirely different network in your brain that goes over the top of your brain. It's dorsal. It comes up over. You're basically detecting movement is a pathway that goes over the top of your brain, and detecting what an object is goes underneath your brain. So I'm not entirely sure if they get that information, but they may. I don't know. You'd have to look. You'd have to do a special test.
And again, I don't know if this is correct, but as I understand it, the information that is received via some perceptive sense isn't received by only the parts of the brain that deal with that sense.
Right.
So, like, deaf people can still enjoy music. I know deaf people that have told me they still enjoy music. They can feel it. There are other ways that they can perceptibly sense. Like, our senses are not monolithic. They flow together. And I think that what this demonstrates is that not just the operations of the brain, but consciousness, perception, phenomenology, all that stuff.
You have a 360-degree tactile. Like,
can I finish my
5
point?
feet from your sorry, go ahead.
Is exceedingly dynamic, and this information goes to numerous places in the brain, not to just the places where that one sense is picked up. Like, you might see something, but what you're seeing, you might see something and then get a bunch of emotions because that information is going to a variety. Consciousness is so fucking dynamic, and this is why I don't understand dualists. Like, they don't know anything about neuroscience.
Well, I just wanted to.
Here's the thing, Leo. Here's the thing, Leo, that will kill you. There are dualists, and basically people that believe that the mind is not physical, that use this blindsight argument to prove that the mind is not physical, because these people can still see. So, I mean, they've misinterpreted the.
Well, I would like to add something here. Also,
Go
our
ahead,
senses, also our senses are not really static. You know what I mean? They can be improved upon. There have been many studies to where people have been able to improve eyesight, touch, hearing, smell. Like our nervous system isn't static. It's a dynamic entity, as Leo said. So I mean, it's always one of those things to whenever I see these creationists or these people just not really learning or changing. I'm like, what are you?
Do you think we could let Luca talk eventually? We've kind of derailed the conversation, but Luca can't.
Don't worry about it.
No, you can talk, Luca. I'm almost
yes. It was we can talk about the debate. I think I want to know your opinion because I do care about that. I did well in your opinion or not?
You did real well, and
good.
I know it was late for you, but at some point I did drop out, and it was a point where crackers stopped making any sense at all. And I will try to watch the rest of it and see how you handled that. But I don't know if there is any handling that guy, to tell you the truth.
No, I did well, I think. At the end, he did admit that he need one more debate to discuss with me because he did not have the information that I needed to make the calculation. So he did admit to have no clue about my points. and that's quite telling, because if your whole point is I'm trying to create a model for the flood, and you don't know even something that simple like the pressure and the temperature of the water from the deep, what have you done in all those years or months? So yes, I think it was quite telling. I did stick his feet to the fire. It's
Good.
so yeah. I think I did well. It was quite good.
Wait, what did you debate?
David McQueen.
David McQueen.
The
Dr.
boy
Cracker.
who sees without eyes. Ooh, oh my god, I gotta watch that video.
Now,
Oh,
was this
that wasn't-
specifically a heat problem debate, or was it a broader age of the Earth?
No. It's
Plate
problem.
tectonics.
Okay.
You talked a lot
It's
about
problem.
plate tectonics, though, right?
I was thinking it was like a broader age of the Earth debate or something like that. And all I was going to say is it would be hard for me to debate a creationist on that, simply because I'm just going to hammer the same point over again, and they're never going to be able to give an answer. And that's, how does oil prospecting work utilizing radioactive decay if you claim that that radioactive decay is an unreliable process? Why, over the last roughly 60 to 80 years, every single time we go to prospect for oil, it's right where the data tells us it should be. If those methodologies are flawed, data. I'm talking plural, not singular.
No, I know data.
That's what I said. Data, plural. Datum is singular. I didn't say singular. I said plural. I'm speaking about the plural.
Leo, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying the word because I like saying it. Jesus Christ.
Luca, at some
Yes.
point, wasn't he saying that the slabs from the top that would sink down into the mantle were hotter? He was saying they were hotter than.
I think that his model requires a colder material inside the core, but
Yeah, how the hell does
I do not have any idea how that should work. Also, my point was inconsequential to his model, because if you dump a huge quantity of very, very hot water inside the atmosphere, also you have all the energy from the meteoritic impacts and so on and so forth. All that energy is inside the atmosphere, on the upper crust and the atmosphere. So you cannot transmit that heat to the core, even with your model. So it was useless. I think that McQueen used this equation just to scare off people.
Yeah, that's kind of
not
what
because I'm thinking ill of him, but I think that he presses those kind of equation because most people don't even understand it. So even if you are not right and you are wrong, who will tell you otherwise? Even if you understand the topic and you can come back to him, almost no one in the chat will understand the discussion. I think that most people in the chat were lost with our discussion, and I was a little bit lost too, if I need to be honest, because his point were they did not make any sense for the most part.
Oh, thank you, because I thought it was me, because
No,
I'm like listening
no.
to him. I'm like, what in the hell is?
You were gaslighted by creationism. That's what it was.
I think it's a shock value thing, like to throw all these big time equations to get people to say, oh, he's got all this math, he must be right. I thought about doing that when I debated Kent Hovind, but then I realized that I'm going to lose the audience. And my goal here shouldn't be shock value. It should be to try to actually give the audience something to gnaw on. And I think I did a pretty good job of that.
Yes.
So I put, as an aside, I put this video in the description. I don't think we're going to get time to get to it today. And we're talking about something else. But yeah, the whole blindside thing is really interesting. I will watch the video and we'll address it next week. If I still have a channel, if I don't get any more strikes, because I have no idea.
You got a strike?
Yeah.
For what?
A scam for scamming.
What scam?
Or, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, then why don't you challenge it?
They won't let me. They won't.
Yes, they will. Then email YouTube and say, "Is there any evidence or data you can provide for this scam?"
How do you?
And if they don't respond, email them twice a day, every day until they do.
Who do you email?
Leo, I did something
email YouTube.
This is awesome. This is backstage conversation. Let's just shoot it in the head, and y'all can discuss the strikes out backstage.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like any information that anybody can give me about how to deal with this, because when I go to the appeal button, they say this video can't be appealed. So that's all I get out of them. So anyway, so Luca, did you have any more you wanted to?
No, it was all more or less. It was a good debate. I think that I did well. It was a pleasure to discuss a topic where I do have some expertise in, because all of my debates were on topics that were not my field at all. I just have a bachelor in chemistry, so thermodynamics is the topic where I do know some stuff. Everything else, it's just general culture, me skipping over papers and prepare myself at the best of my abilities. And I'm working as a teacher, so I do not have so much free time at the moment. So
can I show something?
It will.
Oh no,
yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, please.
No. Go ahead, Luca. You finish.
No, I will have more free time during the holidays, so maybe I will do more debates for sure. I think that I propose myself for a second debate with Owen. I hope to end up on this channel, because he did not publish the first debate on his channel. I wonder why. He never speak of me with my name. He did a video response to my points, but he never called me by my real name. So I want to be acknowledged. Sorry. At least a little bit. And I want to debate him, but on a very specific topic. I do not want the same old debate. There is evidence for evolution or things like that. I want to go for ARVs, and I think that will be fun. I think that I will meet online, of course, Professor McQueen again, and we will see what the future will hold.
To give you an idea about Professor McQueen, is that he claims to have worked in geology and worked in all these labs, but he gets these crackers out and he shows, about distortion of, rocks folding. If you look in any geophysics book of any caliber, they will show you graphs where temperature and pressure will allow the deformation of rocks without it turning liquid. And it's right on the phase boundary between liquid and solid. And the closer, it wobbles either way, but you're going to get a different type of rock depending on what side of that boundary it's on or how close it is. And it's just a common thing that rocks fold. when they're solid,
Yes.
and they maintain these layers. And he just blatantly puts it out there, and he gets these crackers and cracks them. And he's got to be lying, because a geologist can't possibly not know this stuff. You know?
But I'm curious about it. But what we know about this man, because I cannot find almost anything about him aside for creationist material.
Does he have a
What
PhD?
I do not know. I'm asking. So
Maybe
because
you could contact RJ Downard. If anybody's got background
Yeah, he
information
would
on,
know.
on creationists, it would be RJ.
Yeah.
because to be fair, I was expecting something more grounded in
Fact.
in not. Yes, it's a young Earth creationist, but I think that I will never debate or even meet Tour, but I think that Tour will be able to make me run away because it's quite good at its
Yeah,
job. I think he knows a lot more than me, even though I think his points are quite bad, but he is a chemist and even a good one. McQueen, I cannot bring myself to understand how something with someone, sorry, with a real degree in geology can make such mistakes.
Right.
So, like the time one, yes, T for time. No. That's
Yeah,
a
I know.
capital T.
I know,
It's
that was a good one.
temperature. It's
Yeah.
not even a rookie mistake. I do not think that even an
I even
undergrad student would make that mistake.
I found out
So
what his
I'm
credentials are.
What are they?
None.
He has a Bachelor of Arts in Geology from the University of Tennessee. He has a Master of Science in Geology from the University of Michigan, and a Specialist Education, an EDS, which is like a specialized education degree or something like that, in curriculum and instruction, science education, and an EPA graduate fellow in toxicology, Northeast Louisiana University. So he does not have a
Was he?
PhD, and he does not have a PhD in this subject. So he technically is not a relevant expert to this area at all.
Who's got a PS?
yes, but with all those degrees, how can he be
don't know?
so bad at math?
Well, he's just
I
lying.
just
That's what
have.
it is.
Sorry.
He's just lying. It's like how can Jason Lyle say the things that he says about cosmology, having a PhD in astrophysics from the University of Colorado at Boulder? Because he's lying. Like he doesn't
No.
genuinely believe it. He's just saying things to say them.
But I can understand that. But my question is different. Like Tour is obvious. Sorry, he is somewhat lying. Let's be real. Let's say that he does make a very lot of mistakes, very strange mistakes. Let's say that. I do not like to accuse anyone because, or you have all the evidence to do
Well,
it, or
it
it's not
seems more charitable to call them liars than to call them complete
Stupid
idiots.
Yeah, if he's got a
Yes,
bachelor's
yes.
and a master's degree from accredited universities in geology, and he's saying these things, there's only one of two things: either he didn't listen to a single fucking thing he learned in any class he took on the subject, or he did and he's just lying about it to push some particular belief system that he has. And I think that the latter is actually the more charitable position. I agree with Speed there.
No. But my problem with that is if you do have those degrees, I just have a bachelor, so I'm no one compared to his credentials. And I was more up to speed to his equation than himself. He was clueless. If you are lying, at least you will be lying on something that you know well.
Yeah.
He was clueless. That's the point.
So you don't think he was lying? You think he actually did not know these things?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
pretty
That's
sure
fair.
of it. Because let's think about the temperature thing. How can you be that wrong if you are just lying?
Yeah.
I do not think he was lying.
Well, the guy is
I
70
think
years
he
old.
was clueless, because to mistake temperature for time in an equation, that's a huge thing. Also, the differential equation thing is always talk about those differential equation. Those were not different.
Applicable?
Can I ask what differential equation? Wow, I'm totally sexist, I guess. But can I ask what kind of differential equation he had presented?
Well, we got it.
None.
Somewhere. Yeah. Well,
I've shown one on the specific heat.
You showed the equation.
Yes,
and then he didn't
I
know
show
anything
it
about
to
it.
show what a differential equation is.
Okay.
Variation of enthalpy on variation of temperature over constant pressure. That's a
rate of change of
differential
entropy
equation.
with respect to
the
temperature.
one showed by him were not. That's my point. I can not bring myself to think that he was lying. If you are lying, at least you need to be knowledgeable on. Yes, those were differential equation, but was talking about all different things in that point. At that point, it's a famous equation, and he was talking about differential equation. Those are differential equation, of course, but I do not think that he even understand what they mean, because when confronted over it, he was clueless.
What does the arrow indicate?
What is
sorry?
What?
The arrow. What is the
arrow? In a mathematics sense, that arrow can be substituted with the word implies.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's in a logical sense. So I mean,
and math. I mean, math uses the same symbols.
Sometimes you use
I just don't know what phi sub t would mean.
Right.
That's got to be a function of some sort. Like phi would be some value as a function of temperature, perhaps.
Oh, so he's okay. That's the definition of phi t, is what he's saying.
I don't know. I have no
idea. Okay, for what I can understand over
it's
that,
like volume over temperature.
No.
No. That's not how these are read.
Heat over temperature. It's entropy.
What's
basically.
the P? What's the P when it says dP over dt? Is that the rate of change of pressure with respect to temperature?
Yes.
Okay.
But
what's the Q?
Q, it's
I'm thinking volume.
It's the heat energy, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the differential equation for entropy, and that's correct. But I think that he just copied it somewhere, because for what I can understand, he does not understand what entropy even is. Because when you say, okay, entropy is increasing, so it's impossible to have that mechanism that you are proposing. Yes, entropy is increasing, but entropy, it's not like it's energy. That energy is disappearing, because he seems to imply that heat is going away. It's not like that. Energy is constant in a isolated system. So I think that creationists do not get that point at all.
So
I agree. I think most creationists seem to think that what entropy means is that you can't ever add energy back into a system, which is obviously false.
No, but even I was talking with George Bond over the comments of the video, and he was telling me that expansion solve everything because the temperature of the gas is dropping. Yes, but if you cool off the plasma, superheated gas, whatever, you are transmitting that heat somewhere else. It's not like it's disappearing. You can lose it into space, of course, but it's not like energy will ever disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a long, long future, but if we are talking about our history, even billions of years of history, no, not happening. Energy is still there always. It's just I think that they misunderstood entropy because it states that energy degrades, but it's not like it's disappearing. But I do not think that they know the difference.
Well, statistical thermodynamics is a notoriously difficult field, so I don't expect your average lay creationist to have any understanding of it. How I often characterize entropy is just to say that energy can do work. And as that energy does work, the energy resulting from that work can do less work than the energy that went into doing it. So the usability or the workability, and there is a really bad echo right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
I'll be back. Bye, guys.
What?
Yes,
It's
basically.
I'm at speed.
The hell? Anyway, so what I often say is that
Alright,
the
the shoes in the head.
usability or the workability of energy goes down as it is used to do work, but the energy density of the universe remains constant.
Yeah, energy is still.
So, did he bring this paper up, or is this your paper? This morphology of seismically slower?
No. I never brought any paper.
Can you scroll back up, Speed? What were the authors there?
Kotar, Vedran, and Lekic. So that was from. Let's see. Is it from this? Yeah. Okay. This is what I think it was part of his presentation.
Oh, okay. Yes, the slide brought by Donny, basically.
Yeah, I'll link that in the description. I linked the debate in the description too, if anybody wants, because I need to go watch more of it now. That you see, when he started going off about, I mean, he started using a lot of technical jargon, and it wasn't making any sense to me. And I thought, okay, he's run into the bottom of what I know about physics, right? So I got confused and left.
By the way, the third Otangelo comment up, the one that starts with "there is no known mechanism." Can I get you to highlight that for me really quickly?
Mm-hmm.
I sure can. There's no known mechanism. Okay.
So I would wonder if Otangelo thinks that a warm cup of tea is a higher or lower entropy than a cold cup of tea.
That's a good.
That's the first thing I would want to know. And then what I would want to know is if he's going to admit that a warm cup of tea is lower entropy than a cold cup of tea, and he wants to know, well, then how can you get the cup of tea warm again? By putting it in the fucking microwave. So when he says there is no known mechanism that can recharge energy back into a low entropy state, that's fucking false. Microwaves can do that to your food.
Yeah, that is really funny. Otangelo, I don't know why you keep trying, but you're either brave
It's
or
Dunning-Kruger. When you don't know anything about a subject, you don't know how little you actually know to know that the things that you're saying are stupid.
Well, I mean, I do.
I would love to see any creationist explain to me how they can tell if something has less or more entropy. I would love to see that.
Oh, that's where you got the picture. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're coming up on 2 hours, so we're gonna.
Can I do a shout out
to
that I wanted?
be fair, I want to know. I was going to research that anyway. The blue parts on the map. what was the temperature? Because he was saying that those were cold. I see thousands of degrees there. I think that cold does not mean what he think it does.
I linked this paper in the description if you want to go take a look at it.
I see Otangelo is projecting now, claiming I need to learn the difference between a closed and an open system, when I remember asking him the difference one time and he couldn't explicate it.
Imagine getting
Also,
that
it's irrelevant because open and closed system are not where the second law of thermodynamics works.
It's an isolated system. Yes, the universe is an isolated system. But I bet Otangelo didn't know that. But I'm the one that needs to go learn about this.
Wait,
even though I bet
Leo,
he's never taken an actual course in statistical thermodynamics.
Okay, I have a quick question for you, Leo. I thought the universe was a closed system.
No, it's an isolated system.
Let me finish my goddamn question, Speed.
No.
Well, can I do the shout out that I wanted to do 20 minutes ago?
Yes, Leo wanted to do something first. He's going to do that first.
So I just wanted to say that in about 8 minutes, for me, it'll be 6 o'clock, but it'll be at the top of the hour, this coming hour, I will be premiering a debate that I had a couple years ago with the guy who always says biblically. So if you know who that is, then you know who that is. If you don't, then you're lucky. But I had a debate with him back in, what was that, like July, August, June, July, somewhere in 2020. It's been almost 2 years ago, and I just never asked the guy that owns the channel that we had it on if I could mirror it, and I asked him a couple days ago, and he said it was all right. So I'm going to premiere that because it's really funny.
Okay, so now Midnight, you had a question, and then we got to shoot it in the head because I got to go.
Okay, I know you answered this already, but I'm going to finish it anyway because I wanted to finish it. I always thought that the universe, and let me finish, Leo. I always thought that the universe itself was closed, the Earth was isolated, and life was isolated as well.
Wait, you what?
What?
Oh my fucking god! I always thought that the universe was a closed system, and the Earth and like any planet was an isolated system, and that life itself was also an isolated system.
Well, isolated means like not connected to anything else, like on its own, like not in any form of locality with anything else. So the universe isn't getting either mass or energy, which, I mean, mass is just energy, from anything outside of it. The term outside of the universe is not even a coherent term. So the universe is an isolated system. Most things inside of it are open systems because the Earth can receive energy from the sun. Life is an open system because life can receive energy from its environment. So things inside the universe can be open systems, closed systems. Isolated, that would be difficult. But the universe itself is an isolated system.
Life is definitely...
Yes, because it's basically impossible to stop it transmission completely, at least. But we can get close, so we can say we can operate in something that is close to an...
All right, thanks for answering that, Leo.
Okay, we got to leave now, guys. So we're shooting it in the head.
Yes.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Goodbye.
See y'all. Thank y'all for showing up.